Does anyone know what that hymn was that Nathan just played? His Eye is on the Sparrow. Yes. And I was just speaking with Doris, our worship leader, and she said she remembers 22 years ago that she sang that song on the days after 9/11. So on this September 11th, we cannot help but remember, for those of us who were of a certain age, where we were, what our thoughts were, and we know that even in the midst of fear and tribulation, we felt God's presence. So we welcome you to worship here today. It's going to be a wonderful day with Nathan always is sharing the music and rising sun, and also our servants at work participants who will be sharing some of their story, and I'm sure challenging each one of us to be in mission. Doris is our worship leader this morning and has some announcements to share.
Thank you. I don't have a microphone, so I'm going to yell.
We can get you one.
I'm going. I'll do it in the gospel. Blood Drive coming up this Tuesday. It might be a very poor showing, so let's see if anybody that usually would not be able to give comes out because of the weather and the time of year. I know I'm not supposed to give yet. Then we continue to have a Bible study on Wednesday mornings. Anybody that can make it at 10:30 in the morning. What are we studying right now, Cheryl?
God's will.
God's will. Terrific. I have two people to call on this morning. First, call on Diane Gothard for information and a message.
So this, 2 weeks from yesterday, Saturday, the 24th of September, we're going to have a trustees work day. We have it once or twice a year just to get some small things done around the church. We want to spruce things up for the car show coming up in October. So it's going to be Saturday, September 24th from 9 to noon. If you can come for even an hour or two, that would be great. We have things inside to do and outside. Ceiling tiles, lights in these pendants need to be replaced. We need to clean out the boiler rooms. We need to do weeding. The handicap signs need to be replaced right out here in the circle and straightened up. There's a sign out back that needs to be cleaned and painted. So just a lot of little things to spruce things up. If you could come Saturday the 24th in the morning to help, that would be great. Many hands make light work. Appreciate it. There is a sign-up board right out back. If you'd like to take on a particular project, you can sign up for that project. Or just sign up in general and you can come in. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, trustees. Now I'd like to call on Allison Rizulis to talk about something exciting.
Just a side note, when our head of the staff parish returns, he's going to do a formal introduction, but we are so thrilled that Allison Rizulis is our new youth director.
Director here at PUMC. Youth group begins tonight at 6. We're celebrating a very special lady's birthday tonight, which is exciting. Youth group ages 5th grade to 12th grade. Please bring your friends. I want to make our youth group probably feel the sanctuary one day. That would be great. Something that we do that I saw a couple years back, and they continue it throughout the years, is that they have dinner every Sunday night with the youth group, and I think that's really great to spend time eating as a family and getting to know each other and talking about our weeks. So, you do not have to be a youth parent to sign up for dinner. You are more than welcome to sign up for dinner. I have availability all the way through December right now, because that's how far I can think in advance. If you're not a youth parent and you feel the
that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Take it away. My Lighthouse. I saw the band that wrote and performed this live when I was working at Leeds University. Excellent group of young people from Ireland.
Oh, excuse me, we don't have the word on screen, so you're welcome to sit down. The congregation, you may be seated.
doubts and my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You're the peace in my troubled sea. You are the peace always in my troubled sea. And then the chorus is my favorite. My lighthouse is shining in the darkness. I will follow you. I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. Sorry if I'm repetitive, but I really enjoy the words. Now we have another song to sing, the hymn of praise, and this hymnal, it's called Give to the Winds Thy Fears. Sure? Good, not that. Let's have fun.
It's a short one.
It's a short one. Can they sit?
Absolutely. Oh.
Have it standing, that's all right.
You can sit. It just feels like it's going to be a little work.
changed in a very good way. That was chosen. Now let us join together in our prayer, and we suggest you look in your bulletin for the prayer, which is before you. O Lord, this solemn prayer comes from deep desire that our lives be as pure as the heart. Let every breath settle the world's womb. Let thy spirit glow so brightly that darkness meets its doom. May we be faithfully drawn to journey, as the moth is drawn to the candle's burning. May our lives be devoted to serving the needy, and to loving the sorrowful, ever suffering humanity. Lead us the way in the path of temptation. O Lord, let truth alone be our destination. And as we spend some time in silent prayers, I also invite you to bring your confessions to Almighty God, and to also pray for places in our nation, our communities, and our world where there is violence, as we know that on this day we remember such violence that was experienced. And we also pray for comfort for our brothers and sisters in the UK as they mourn this day. We thank you, O Lord, for forgiving us. We thank you for the comfort that only you can bring. Amen.
Now we can remain seated and sing freely, freely. Page 89.
God forbid.
their special time with Miss Cheryl. I wonder what you're going to learn about today. Our lesson is from the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verses 27 to 31. What I say to you in the dark, tell in the light. What you hear whispered, proclaim from the housetops. Do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father. And even the hairs on your head are all counted. So do not be afraid. You are of more value than many sparrows. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Now, if my colleague, Pastor Tom, was here, what would he say? Can I hear an amen? Amen. Thank you. Thank you. It's so, we are blessed with such great music in this congregation, and also with people who do our AV and beyond our ability to fix things today. We regret we don't have what we usually have, the things on the screen and what we'll be missing with the SAW presentation, but I'm sure our administrative committees will lift up this need in the months to come when we have our stewardship campaign. And now you'll see the sermon is blank because we're having the SAW group share with us this morning, so I'll let them lead here as they present to us their wonderful ministry. What's the best thing? You want the mics down? Yeah.
So, does this work? Yeah. Good morning, everybody. So, we have a good portion of our small team here. Charles did so in the nursery. So,
right over there. I see Terry.
And so who else we don't have? Chris Catton here as well, right? But and Kelly O'Malley. So we had again a very blessed experience. Hopefully blessed others as well. This year we went. We usually go to West Virginia. This year we went up to the Pocono area and stayed at Pocono Plateau, which has, you know, Carmen O'Shea is now directing, and so it was really cool to be staying with her, spending time with her and her family, and going out and serving with Habitat for Humanity, which was different this year as well. So ordinarily we bring all of our tools and we do a lot of the planning and stuff, but Habitat kind of put that on our hands so we could be more focused, I think. So it was a lot of new folks and some folks who have been doing this for decades who came along this time. And, I guess I'll start handing it over now.
I just want to say that this was the first time for the three youth up here. So it was these three, and then Maddie O'Shea joined us, and her cousin Amaya. And I can't say enough about how capable, how kind, how thoughtful these three are. It's a shame. I did put pictures together, and you could see them in action, but you have to trust us when I tell you that they did an amazing job and represented us. Cheryl and I were in the kitchen. Carmen had asked us to go into the kitchen because she was short of staff. So I'm not sure who won, whether it was Lucy and Ethel or the dishwasher, but we did our best, and it was interesting anyway, being in the kitchen. So.
Oh, he doesn't want to hear that.
It was a good opportunity to help the lady Patricia and help to for immunity with her house. So it was good for us to learn about.
Patricia, I'm so glad you said the names. We showed up and the Habitat for Humanity 2 leaders, gentlemen, were good at the rules. They knew exactly how to keep us safe, how to take apart a structure that was falling apart because of rain. The photos are wonderful. The house split between the fireplace and the roof and the walls and the floor. So it was just falling off the side of the house. So the water came straight in her living room. But we did a lot. I mostly picked up rocks. It's a very pine forest area, and it was a hill, and rocks were in the way, rocks were used, rocks, all kinds of things. But these people had real jobs. I want everybody to tell their real job. Yeah. We did have a member that was very good for us. JQ was always there, and Terry's always there, but John got to go. Yeah. And it was,
I don't know. Oh, good.
yeah. John's an electrical engineer from tech school up. So he did a lot of work over the years, and he did work this time too. He and Jared did rewiring. Yeah. It was on the second floor, so I didn't go up and down very much. So I know you guys did rewiring in amongst the smashing of rocks. It's just not normal for John to not have a mission trip. We've been married, how many years? 37? 36? How old are you? Yeah, 37. And he's gone 37 times. So, a lot of mission trips. So, we kept feeling something was weird, even though, you know. So, we were blessed to be able to have John to go and to be with us and to laugh and make jokes and to give professional electrical engineering ideas and help. So we thank God for this church always, and we thank God for the ability and the opportunity to go into mission. That's what it meant to us.
Yeah, they asked me to do electrical work, and I'm like, well, if Dad hadn't had a stroke, he'd be up here doing it. So I go downstairs and I grab him and I pull him up and I'm like, hey, what am I supposed to be doing here? Because the guy kind of just left me. I'm like, am I putting these wires together? He's like, no! I'm like, yeah, I didn't think so. So he just basically told me I needed to strip the wires more, and then finally the guy from Habitat came back and was like, yep, we're putting them together. There were 2, we're putting in 4, I got new ones coming, and then I had to do it all again the next day because we had reused what she already had, and then they got it, I guess, like out of the budget or something. They got the real ones and did it all over again. And then when he flipped that breaker, and I'm like, yeah, I did a good job, and he's like, yeah, I double checked it, and it's still not working. So they had to hire an electrician for the next day, for the next week, but yeah. He double checked my work, he said it was good. He's like, it's not your fault, there's something with this house. I'm like, yeah, I can tell. Well, yeah, there was a lot of different things in this one because we had to demolish and we had to put it back together. So there was a lot of different things to do at this site. Because basically what Mom said, we had to take out the chimney and the wall and put it back together. And the floor, they were like, one of the great things about working with Habitat is because they're pulling actual experts. most of the time we go to these places and we're the expert. We're the best they're getting. When we leave, that's how it is. And with Habitat, they're like, no, we have a budget, we have the money, we're gonna send somebody out. So they're like, we're not doing the ceiling, we're not doing the floors. So we just had to rip out the ceiling, and I don't really think we did much with the floors. They were, yeah, we took out the whole fireplace. And they thought that was gonna take us forever. And that's why we thought we were gonna be the group to finish early. And that was not the case. The other group joined us on the last day. Because I guess we were good demolishers. Took out all that stone and all the bricks and the special chimney bricks that were in there, and just jackhammered like crazy. I don't know. There were special chimney cinder blocks? We'll call them that. And this was a really interesting saw because A, we adults outnumbered the teens. And I think one time when I was a teen, I was talking to JQ about it, it was like JQ's first. We had like the same number, they were about the same number. We only had 4 youth that year, and we probably had 5 or 6 adults. But this year, I was like, it has a similar feel to that year. That year completely changed Saul from then on. Like my first 2 years with Saul when I was a teenager, it was more of the whole youth group goes, and it was just a continuation of youth group. It didn't have the loving feel that it had later in life. When it was just me, Jackie, Rachel Black, and Marlies. It was a really tight group, and it just from there, just the tightness and the love and the connections that we made throughout the week would just continued from there. It wasn't so much a youth group event of just, we're here to do some work and go home and screw around and eat too many snacks before our parents can stop us. It was more of a, wow, we're getting close to Christ, we're getting close to each other, and hey, we're helping some people while we're here. We're bringing people closer to Christ. So it was cool to get back to a similar situation where I feel like this is another change in flow for the Saul group, having just 4 youth again. And it was really cool that I got to be working with Amaya so much indoors. I guess that's really all I wanted to hit. Oh, and the fact that it was like a park, because this was kind of like a gated community for vacation homes up in the Poconos that this woman lived in 24/7. She actually was from, not that far from here, Warminster, I think, right? So I don't know if she lost the house in Warminster or what happened with her finances, but she ended up living in basically a vacation home that was made in the 80s that wasn't made to stay up and be lived in 24/7. So it was interesting that because of that, we had a park right across the street with a public restroom, a shower. I'm like, this is too cushy. A beach to sit next to eat your lunch. Too cushy. I'm like, these teens have to come back. Too cushy. And I know JQ, Mom and I all got the recipe for her chocolate pie. Trisha's chocolate pie is pretty good. Yeah, well, I'll wrap it up. We need to
What's in the chocolate pie, Larry?
tofu is the secret ingredient to chocolate pie. I was like, I'm going to make this chocolate pie, but don't look at what I'm putting in the grocery cart house, and you won't eat it if you do. So I put the tofu, I cover it up with other stuff, I go to get something else, I come back and she screams, tofu! Like, I told you not to look. So she has barely given, I've made that pie twice. Everybody loves it who doesn't know it's tofu. My mother-in-law loves it, knows it's tofu. It's just chocolate and tofu, it's delicious. All right.
Well, I have to follow all that. I just have a couple highlights in here. First, I want to just say I'm very, very grateful for this experience and being able to go with my 2 older children. It was really, I would just say, like, really moving to be able to see them in a light of, like, working with adults and being very mature. And I was extremely proud, but we were also very humbled by the opportunity to be able to help people. So like you've kind of heard, we were at 2 different houses, and we helped the woman at our house, myself, John, and Chris. We helped her replace her windows. So I have a couple little funny like isms that I wanted to share with you all. And Chris asked me to let him know before I shared them, but I didn't do that, and he's not here, so you know that's all okay. So a couple little favorite things were time is money except when you're volunteering. And George, who was one of our Habitat leaders, he was a funny guy. So he would just say, good enough, all day long. So whenever we got done, good enough, right, John? You remember good enough, good enough. So, and I just kept track of all these things that made me giggle all week. So I had lots of laughs. Came back, my cheeks needed a break from laughing. And then our homeowner, Eileen, I believe her name was, People Planet got that. So God had quite a few good laughs at our expense that week. Because we kept planning and trying and having to redo. And JQ kept us entertained with his mixed metaphors, so we had a couple good mixed metaphors there. And each time there would be something, he'd try to come up with a new mixed metaphor that represented the situation, so that kept us laughing too, and just wondering what was going to come out next. And then every time, Chris would just walk around asking if anybody called for some muscle when he didn't have anything to do. Someone called for some muscle, so he had muscles for all week long. So it was just fun. It was fun to, you know, we were all, well, I won't speak for anyone else. I was certainly very much outside of my comfort zone, and everybody who knows me knows that I do not like to be outside of my comfort zone. So it was a huge growth experience. It was just really nice getting to see the members of our church kind of in all different situations, whether it was being serious and thoughtful during devotion time, which I'd never experienced before going to SAW. I was like, what's a devotion? Like, I'm supposed to be helping leading this, and I don't even know what a devotion is. So I learned a lot and really got to hear a lot of different perspectives, which was very nice. We played games, and I won't steal the games because I think the kids want to talk about that a little bit, but it was nice seeing people in work, in conversation, at meals, in devotions, and then also at play. Like, I think we really got to know one another in a whole lot of different situations. So it was just a wonderful experience, and I encourage anyone who has the opportunity to go in the future to give it a shot, even if it's just for a couple days. Miss Kelly did that. She was a great roommate, so nobody else can have her. Madison and I are keeping her. So thank you. Sorry. I also wanted to say that it was Madison's birthday while we were up there, and today's Bella's birthday. And it was just so nice because Kath made Madison cupcakes, and Madison didn't want me to tell anyone that it was her birthday, but I thought, like, just the thoughtfulness of the group was really exceptional.
So I thought it was a good experience for like multiple reasons. I kind of got to know everyone better. I didn't know some of the names of some of the people who were going, or like who they really were. It was fun playing the games. We played Square in the Air. There was this kind of like 9-square like PVC pipe, like it's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, elevated thing, and basically you try and spike the ball on other people. A lot of mixed emotions came from that. It was fun helping someone and it felt great just being able to go and help someone just out of the grace and wanting to help someone. It felt nice to get outside of my comfort zone, like my mom said. And I thought, it was a very rewarding experience.
I'm last, so it's going to be kind of hard to finish out, but okay, then I'm ready. But when I first went on SAW, I truly had no idea what I was getting myself into. I knew that I was only one of 3 youth, and I'm not technically in the youth group anymore, but I really had an amazing time. I thought it was incredible getting to know everybody that was going from our church. I didn't, like Gabe said, I didn't even know some of their names, but now I truly feel like I know everybody, like down to their core. It was really incredible getting to see the great impact that we had on the two people that we helped, Miss Eileen and Miss Pat. It was just an incredible experience. I would highly recommend going again. And like Gabe said, all of the games were amazing. It was great. And we had some awesome weather to get all of the work done. So I think we really made an impact, and I would absolutely go again.
Just a shout out for Team Precision.
So, like, what is SAW? I don't know, I still wrestle with it. It's not a vacation, but it is. It's not a church thing, but it is. It's not a volunteer thing, but it is. It's kind of like everything wrapped up into it. As far as growing as a church family, I mean, the people, every year when you go away on SAW, just get to know everyone. You get to know everyone. It's just come together as a church family. It was awesome. What other things? So, like Miss Pat, you heard us talk about, she provided us lunch every day. That poor lady had to live like 3 days without a wall on the outside of her house. We had to tarp it. So I remember the first time I walked in when that wall was completely gone. So I looked, I said, wow, you take out that wall, it really opens things up. So I don't think people appreciated that too much. But you just get to know people. It's just an incredible way to grow as a church family. Don't be afraid to not go to SAW because you don't think you know how to do construction. You don't know how to do it. I don't really know how to do any of that stuff. I just muddle my way through it. The beauty of having the kids there is, like, I don't know, I can't do anything myself, but I kind of know how to do it. And so I get the youth to do all that stuff. So, and they did a great job. They all still have 10 fingers. So it was a successful trip. So, all right.
All right, well, thank you all for sharing. And I just, a couple of observations to wrap it up. So I think I've been doing this for 17, 18 years, and it'd be interesting to tally up the number of people who have gone, but it's probably at least 100 over that time. And in all of that time, I've heard a lot of trepidation and anxiety about coming. I've never heard anyone say they regret going. And I think that's really important to consider. So it is definitely intimidating. It's stepping out of your comfort zone. It's a lot of things. But one thing it is rewarding. I feel like everyone who has gone is the better for it. And I think it's an incredible opportunity that God has given us to go and help others to grow. And I've learned as much from the homeowners, I think, as I've given back. It's that kind of an experience where you learn what grace is. You learn what it means for somebody to open up their house to strangers and swing tools around their house and break things and fix things. And it's an incredible experience. And the other observation is that almost every year we go and the homeowners are maybe a little standoffish at first, and justifiably, because there's these strangers coming in their house. And oftentimes when we're with new, it's happened several times, and I'm sure it happened here again in these two places, the organizers are a little skeptical, and I don't know what kinds of experiences they have week by week, but they tend to sort of, you have to prove yourselves and what you're capable of. And I think what we do is not only do we impress and it's these folks who impress the people who work for Habitat, and they say, wow, these guys have it together, but we also melt hearts. Like the one guy at, was it George? Like he was a little gruff at first, and when we first got there, like he was kind of barking orders at us and telling us not to do things. And within a couple of hours, like we were just part of the team, and he was very open. And so it was like, I think we're respectful, but it's just time and time again, that's how we roll. And I think it's just an incredible, rewarding experience, and I think we touch a lot of lives, and they touch us. One final note, the video that Kathy put together, the slideshow, is on YouTube. I'll share it on Facebook shortly, and then I guess we'll email it around so that you can actually see the slideshow after the service. Sorry it wasn't up here. Maybe we'll solve that. But anyway, thank you all for your support, and it was great to be able to share the experience.
Thank you, SAW team, for your sermon, for your witness. I heard the word fear a couple times, that it's scary sometimes to go to a place where you haven't been. It's also scary to pray and to give your gifts and to, step out in faith. When I heard the group speak, I thought of the gospel lesson from Matthew 25, where someday there's going to be a separation of people. And we hear the words where Jesus says, I was hungry and you fed me, I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink, I was naked and you clothed me. And inasmuch as you have done to all these people, you've done it unto me. And we're grateful that we can go in the name of Christ. We affirm our faith now from Romans chapter 8, found on page number 887 in your new book. I'm so used to looking up to see the words. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? No.
In all things we are more than conquerors through the one who loved us. We are sure that neither death nor life, nor angels nor principalities, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord. Thanks be to God.
Amen.
And let's stand and have our hymn of promise, number 707 in the hymnal.
Apple tree, in cocoons of hidden promise.
your hands to be molded, to be used for your purposes. And may these gifts, may the toil of our hands be blessed and go forth in ministry for all your people. Amen. Most of you know this hymn because there's not going to be the words in front of you, but we can join along and we can follow our wonderful rising sun.
All right, you heard some talk about comfort zones. Well, whenever you're not in your comfort zone, there is a comfort zone that's always available to you. Now, the words aren't on the screens here, but I think a lot of you probably know at least the chorus, so feel free to sing along.
Not yet.
Water.
presence here. And following the prayers, I think there's refreshments out there also. It's lemonade or whatever it is right there in the north decks that we invite you to be part of. And now, may we put our hand in the hands of God, may we put our hand in the hands of our brothers and sisters when we are fearful, when we need to be lifted up, and when we go forth in mission, whether it be here in our area, in the Poconos, or beyond. Amen. You may be seated.